Here's what I'm covering. My goal tonight is to just give you a gestalt picture of how LinkedIn fits into the whole scheme of social media. We're going to talk about a little bit of basic navigation, and obviously you could spend 8 hours, and some people do, and pay handsomely for 8 hours worth of training. Bring your laptop, and sometimes at those training seminars you emerge with no more knowledge than you had before you came. Talk about a few LinkedIn strategies that literally you can put to use right away, which is my goal. I mean, knowledge is power, and a few little tips underneath your belt might go a long way to helping you understand LinkedIn. And a little bit about myself as well. Mark was exactly right. About 14 months ago, I was doing website content for people. I have a marketing communications background, and I've been on LinkedIn for 18 months, and I liked it when I first got on it. I thought, this is cool. It's like a bunch of executives sat in a room and thought about an internet platform just for me. I connected with it. I agonized over every word of my profile. This is cool. This is going to work. I can do this. Next slide. And as I started tweaking my own profile, I started helping other people tweak theirs. I would tell them some stuff I kind of found out along the way. It's really cool if you do this. Or, I just joined this group and connected with someone I've been trying to connect for quite some time. The group shrunk my universe, and I was able to facilitate a connection. And or I got someone in my LinkedIn network to orchestrate an introduction for me to someone with whom I wanted to connect. What is LinkedIn used for? LinkedIn is a social media site. We all remember our definition of social media. It's dedicated to the pursuit of commerce. This is a business website. My buddy Spencer Moss talks about LinkedIn as being the boardroom. He talks about Facebook as being the barbecue, and he talks about Twitter as being the water cooler. How many people are on Facebook? Okay, how many people are Twitterers? What do we think of Twitter? Throw some thoughts on Twitter out there.
Works for me.
Phenomenal.
We like Twitter?
Mm-hmm.
Are we monetizing Twitter? Are we promoting ourselves effectively on Twitter? That's the incessant attention span of the global universe. We want our information, and we want it now. And we want it in 140 characters or less, and we want to go to the URL that's going to give us our stuff. And that, in essence, is Twitter. The jury's still out, but a lot of people are producing some very successful results with it. I myself, I twit a little bit. I dabble in it, and learning more every time I'm on it. These are your reasons why people are online on LinkedIn. We're building online communities that we can leverage. How many people have heard the term leveraging online communities? That's it? Does anybody who knows that term knows what it really means?
No.
Okay. I don't either. I was hoping someone could explain it to me.
No, I think the word leverage is overused, and that's okay.
It's a buzzword. The idea is that once you're connected to someone, now what? Are we going to just sit out there in LinkedIn land and just be first-degree connections? Or is this going to go somewhere? Can we leverage each other for mutual gain? Can we be strategic alliances? Can we refer business to each other? Can we extend each other's knowledge on a particular topic? That's, in essence, what leveraging is all about. The search for employment opportunities. LinkedIn is the biggest job fair in the universe. And how many people do we have here looking for their next big challenge? Are we using LinkedIn to the extent we should?
No.
Okay. There's a lot out there. And with the right strategy, you can enhance your chances of getting to the decision maker. Slide master. I wonder if this was what Reid Hoffman envisioned when he invented LinkedIn, that it would be this kind of buzz, where people would actually be filling auditoriums to learn LinkedIn, going to seminars, talking about it at networking groups, harvesting success stories from their networking worlds that they otherwise couldn't do on a face-to-face basis. You all can read, I don't need to read the stats, but suffice it to say that this is some unbelievable momentum here. It's grown at about 1.2 million users a month, and that growth rate is growing. I mean, when you conceive of 75 million users globally, with the way the universe is shrinking anyway nowadays, with everything going toward the internet, mobile web, all of this, all of these applications, the potential to promote a product, service, or enterprise on LinkedIn just explodes. These are the goals of LinkedIn. How many people know the term social capital? There's another cliche that's kind of getting tossed around. In essence, we're social capitalists, and we try to bank as much human equity these days as possible, to extend the metaphor. I meet you, we perceive that we might have some synergy in business, we're going to link in. We're going to connect after the linking in. We're going to explore the ways in which we might be resources for each other. And if there's coffee involved, that's just a bonus. Because for me, it's all about the coffee. Building social capital, and then finding those relationships in your LinkedIn connections. These are your centers of influence, people who know, respect, and trust you. Your clients, people who know, respect, and trust you. And people out there in the real world with whom you meet who could speak to your integrity and character. Basic navigation of LinkedIn. How many people are well aware of the control panel areas which are highlighted in red? We're just going to skirt through this a little bit. A lot of this stuff that I do on one-on-one is basic navigation. We can talk about how you just get around LinkedIn. We all know that the profile on the lower left, you click on that, you're always going to go back to your profile. You're always going to be able to see what's going on in the control panel. You can go to your groups, you can go to your contacts, you can go to applications, which we don't really need to speak of right now. This is the home page. Everything you're doing in LinkedIn is reflected on your home page for everybody to see. This is an application borrowed from Facebook. A real-time streaming of your LinkedIn activity. So if you update your status, people in your network are going to see it, usually within minutes. We're going to go back and talk about this if anybody has specific questions. This area is the meat of the profile. That is what's called a professional headline, your name, your tagline, your byline, what you do, however you want to phrase it. Always recommend a headshot for people. My personal feeling is no headshot, you shoot yourself in the foot. The photo is the best way, in fact, the only way for many people to remember you. And in my case, if I have trouble remembering someone, I may not be as inclined to link in with them, nor should you. This is the meat of the profile. The profile is summary, specialties, experience, education, honors, interests, activities, anything that you can do to embellish yourself and heighten your awareness for others. This is basically where they're going to form their association with you. Slide master. Focusing in again here. The status bar, which is also borrowed from Facebook, which is also borrowed from Twitter, basically tells people what you're into. If you're seeing a big client, if you're giving a LinkedIn presentation, whatever you're doing and you want people in your network to know, and people outside your network will also see it, that's the place to put it. And by doing real-time updates, you're encouraging eyes to drive to your profile. They'll see that you've made a change. They may want to go to your profile.
Okay. I have a question on that. Just recently, actually since I lost my job about a month ago, been getting more involved in Facebook, so I'm getting a little bit more used to, if I post something on that, who that goes to. I won't take too much of the time there, but in terms of on LinkedIn, so understanding somewhat the analogy to Facebook, if I post something on LinkedIn and say, I'm looking for a new opportunity for my copywriting skills, and I post that, does that only go to my friends' pages or my LinkedIn connections pages, or does it go to my group members as well? That's what I'm having trouble understanding. Who what are you doing now? Who does that broadcast to?
It broadcasts to everybody on LinkedIn because it will stay as part of your profile if you have your visibility settings set to that. but only people in